We are moving straight into a moment many of you have been looking forward to. We are officially launching the Asian Outbound Traveler Behavior Handbook. Present insights into the handbook, please welcome Dr. Thraenhart, CEO of Chameleon of CrescentRating and HalalTrip. Gentlemen, the stage is yours.
Looks like milk these days. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good to have all of you here. I think it'll get a little bit more crowded a bit later, especially in the afternoon. I think I just starting off with, continuing with what Jens was saying, I was just thinking why we are sitting here today. It's a long story, but I think I want to tell the story because that's what these kind of events do to us, actually. I met Dato Khani from Malaysia a few years ago in an event in Taiwan before he became the head of MySeb, actually. So when he became the MySeb head, we were on the Global Summit, I think the second or third edition. I called him and I said, I need a speaker to talk about events. He said, no, you should talk to my CEO, who is Noor Ahmed. I said, okay, I'll contact Noor, and I said, Noor, and he came on board and he did a session. Then Noor moved to Pata as the CEO of Pata, and the next Halal in Travel Global Summit, I told him, why don't you join and do join one of our sessions? Noor said, it's better if you become a member of Pata, so it will be easier for me to talk. So, okay, I'll become a member of Pata. So I became a member of Pata. This was about two and a half years ago. And when I became a member of Pata, I met one of the senior members of Pata in Singapore, Sun Hua. I don't know Sun Hua. Sun Hua is seated there. I see Sun Hua. Sun Hua came and visited us in the HITGS, I think about 2 or 3 years ago. 2 years ago, I think, the 4th edition, I believe, yeah. Sun Hua says, Fazal, why don't you become affiliate member of UN Tourism? I say, okay, well, let's become a member of UN Tourism. And then we became UN Tourism member, affiliate member last June, actually. And then, I knew Jens before, but it was more sort of, and then we were at UN Tourism General Assembly in Riyadh in November. And we were seated next to each other. I mean, UN Tourism is very official. You put the names by alphabetical order. So Chameleon and CrescentRating is very close to each other. so we sat next to each other, and then we, as Jens was saying, we wanted to see how we can sort of activate some activities for UN tourism affiliate members in Asia, which the discussion is still going on. We'll do something, and now that our representative from Middle East also here, we'll have to learn from him how to do those activities here. But that was where we started discussing, okay, if the event is, we can't do right now, but let's do something at HITGS. And we, sort of went back and forth with some ideas, and then we settled, and Jens was the one who said, no, let's do, not Muslim outbound market. The book is about the Asian outbound market. And that's why we are sitting here. So what I wanted to say was just one meeting in Taiwan with Dr. Dato Khani has led us sit here together and discuss our book launch. Okay, and tell us about the book.
Well, first of all, I think our conversation yesterday was interesting because, I didn't even realize that the Muslim market in Asia is so dominant compared to other regions in the world. But obviously, now with a lot of geopolitical changes, with AI, with climate change, with sustainability, people are just grappling in terms of, okay, what do I do? What are some of these new emerging markets? I was talking to the Tourism Authority of Thailand recently and said, like, well, Kazakhstan is a really immensely fast-growing market for them. But still many people don't know about the Kazakh market, you know, and the other ones. So we said, okay, well, let's maybe unleash this. Um, and you know, my partner in high yield tourism, Gary Bauman, he's looking to write a more an academic book on the changing Asian consumer. But we said, well, what can we really do that someone can pick up and learn very quickly on what these Asian markets are doing today, how they are changing. I talked to my former partner at Dragon Trail, George Sao, you know, in terms of the Chinese markets, lots of changes, obviously, in that market. But again, you know, China, Japan, Korea, all these markets, India, those are the ones that are, I wouldn't say known, but those are the ones that people focus on first. But there are a lot of other markets, you know. Singapore, for example, is one market where people maybe not focus all the time, but it's a high yield market. You know, Singaporeans spend more money than maybe people from other markets, but it's sometimes forgotten because it doesn't have the volume. So that's really the essence of you know, why I think this handbook will create value.
Yeah, I think I'll go into a lot more detail in terms of numbers in the afternoon when we launch the GMTI report. But why I was keen to sort of you know, jointly do this handbook, as he says, Jens says, you know, it's about 400 pages long. The outbound market of the Asian outbound market, 20% are actually, plus 20% are actually Muslims. And 80% of the Muslim outbound market, actually, the 20% of Asian outbound market which are who are Muslims represent 80% of the Muslim outbound market globally. So they are really the most important Muslim outbound sector globally as a region. And we'll talk about later as well, you know, Asia is also the biggest inbound market for Muslim travelers. We are going to talk about some numbers later. And I think Rauda mentioned we now estimate the number of arrivals, international arrivals globally was 196 million last year. And out of that, 128 million were actually in Asia, came to Asia. So all that means for us, you know, we look at from a Muslim perspective, Asian outbound and both inbound and outbound markets are so crucial for the Muslim market. So that's sort of led me to sort of work on this one. So we have a 400-page book. We have a shorter version, which is about 60 or 70 pages. It covers 26 outbound markets. As Dr. Jens is saying, you know, this is, you know, of course we have, you know, big sections on China and India and all that, but, you know, a section on Bangladesh, you know, a section on smaller, those markets who are still crucial. And I think those markets will continue to evolve as we you know, go forward.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned emerging markets, and I think that's really the opportunity with Asia. Because when it comes to Europe, you know, Italy, France, Switzerland, Germany, all these markets are pretty much covered because they're more mature. But Uzbekistan, for example, is a growing outbound market, and it's a Muslim market as well, you know. Saudi Arabia is another one. You know, as I said, I spent the last 2 years in Riyadh. And I created now something called Saudi Outbound to educate people around the Saudi outbound market, another Muslim outbound market, you know. Kuwait, small market, but also is now a very interesting high yield market that many people don't focus on and don't understand and trying to figure out, well, what do I do with these markets? So I think these are the opportunities right now. And under the umbrella of UN Tourism Affiliate members, we thought, you know, this is really the value of this network. When we come together, unfortunately, I couldn't join the last one in Toledo, which I think was last week, if I'm not mistaken, because we're working on our book on this event. But it's great when you connect with other affiliate members, and it's different than PATA. But I think us coming together and saying, well, what can we do together, I think is the spirit of this UN Tourism Affiliate Members Network. and creating value for the broader industry, and then says, well, you know, this is great. How can I learn about the Tourism affiliate members? How can I become part of it and contribute as well? You know, because in the end, that's what the industry is all about. And I think what Tourism, where it is unique, is because it is the only tourism agency, and that's probably many of you don't know, the only tourism agency that has a private sector component. When you look at the World Health Organization, when you look at other UN agencies, it is only country governments that are representative. But because, you know, travel and tourism is private-public sector, it is so important to connect with the public sector, and the public sector with the private sector. So that is why the affiliate members was seen so important. And the new Secretary General, she comes from the private sector, you know, from Hotana Hotel. So I think the affiliate members network will grow in importance with UN Tourism. I don't know. Our friend from UN Tourism can tell us more about this later on. But I think it comes down to initiatives like this, where we say we don't wait for Jan Wilco to say, hey, you know what, let's do an Asian Outbound Traveler Handbook. We said, well, let's just do it, and then for the industry to embrace it.
Thanks. And so I think just to shout out for PATA and UN Tourism, I think those who of you who are not members, I think there's a lot you can gain from joining organizations like PATA and UN Tourism. I think Mr. Mohammed Dasuki is going to talk later in the afternoon, and you can talk to him how you can become a member of UN Tourism, you know, affiliate member. I think one of the questions, coming back to the book, one of the questions I get asked wherever, you know, we have, you know, when we talk of Muslim market, you know, is the Muslim market same? You know, is it the same everywhere? You know, are we, do we treat them same? So my answer has always been, you know, Muslim market compared to, you know, you can segment the market in multiple ways, but when you segment by faith, the Muslim market probably has the most shared values wherever they come from. You know, the shared value component is extremely high. They all eat halal food, they all, you know, pray, and, you know, they all fast, and, so on top of the faith-based needs, but it doesn't mean everybody is the same. You still have to identify there are nuances. If the Muslim is coming from Indonesia, is different from a Muslim coming from Saudi Arabia. You know, a Muslim coming from Indonesia and Malaysia, they are themselves also different. You know, in terms of, you know, how, you know, when they travel, how they travel. You know, they both probably want halal food, but one would want to. I managed to take Mr. Dasuki yesterday to Zamzam, so that he could try murtabak. He didn't know murtabak at all. So anyway, so I think so that's what interested me with the book. You know, you still have to cater to the very specific needs of the outbound markets. I mean, even in China, you know, of course, China, we sort of generalize as one market, but it's also multiple markets within China also. I think so. Understanding the overall requirements, like the Muslim faith-based requirements, is the foundational thing if you want to tackle the Muslim market. But on top of that, you need to start understanding the nuances within those markets. You know, how do you cater to them? I think that's what this book does.
Yeah, and I think you make an important point, how you cater them. I think one is the understanding, but then also how you implement it on the ground. Let me tell you a story. I'm not sure if you even know. I mean, I think back in 2012, I was contacted by MasterCard to actually do a project on halal travel in Thailand. To curate the different restaurants in Thailand, and they're looking to do the first halal travel guide. I think this was before your partnership even. So I've been always fascinated with the halal in the Muslim market, and now with Saudi Arabia, I got obviously the opportunity to learn a lot more around it, because there's some great initiatives out there where you can have walking tours in Riyadh and in Jeddah, and to really learn about the Islam religion and the behaviors and the culture. But going back to your point, I think right now where we're looking to differentiate ourselves with our destinations and hotels, and later on I'll talk to my old friend Mark Wong from Small Luxury Hotels, what they're doing, or how they're encouraging their hotels to really embrace the Muslim market. I think if you're looking to differentiate yourself, and we did a few little tests yesterday looking at a few hotels in Bangkok, how they really get ready for the Muslim market. It's still there's still a big gap, as my new friend just mentioned, and I think that's the opportunity. And I think it's around understanding. That's why we did this handbook. This is why you're doing this event and really leading this market globally in working with many tourism boards and hotel companies. But you know, I think the travel companies, the destinations, hotels that really take the effort, because it's not easy, take the effort and the investment to learn about the market and to cater to this market. But I think that's where you can really create products and services for these niches that then create resilience over the long term, because these markets will remember and they will stay loyal.
Yep. So I think in terms of the book itself, I think it's downloadable now, right, Jens?
Yes. So we have two versions, as you mentioned. We have the comprehensive version and we have the condensed version. The condensed version we made available for free. There's actually a price. I think we kind of priced it at $75, but we said for a limited time we make it available for free download on AsiaTravelTrends.com.
But you can
scan
the QR code on your table if you to have a look at that. Yeah.
And you have to register, and then when you build a profile as well, we came up with some kind of crazy little AI solutions. Fazal is my new AI buddy. We kind of share best practices and ideas in terms of how to leverage AI. But so you can actually, when you register, you can put in your destination, your inbound destination. So let's say it's Cairo, Egypt, or it's Berlin, Germany, and then it suggests the top Asian outbound markets and also the top emerging outbound markets. And you can then watch other Asian outbound markets as well. So, so I think we want to create Asia Travel Trends as a platform for the industry. We're going to invite contributors to join as well and provide articles. There's already 80 articles on the site right now from various markets. But yes, so the condensed version is available for free for limited time. Normally $75, and then the full version with 400 plus pages, 26 markets, normally priced, I think, at we said $295 US, and now we make it available at a 66% discount, so it's like $99 or something like that. So it's just to cover our cost.
Thank you very much. So please take the opportunity to download the free versions. Thanks, Jens, and looking forward to we have 2 more sessions to discuss with our panelists on this outbound market later today. I think the next couple of hours. So thank you.
Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Jens and Fazal, for delivering this important handbook and sharing its findings with us.